On this episode of Southall Computing, we'll be reviewing the F500L Car Dash Cam camera, and that's coming up next. Hey YouTube, Dan from Southall Computing, and as you guessed it, today we got another car dash cam review. This one here happens to be purchased off of eBay for about $30, and the model number is a F500L. It does H.264 video compression, so we'll see if that's actually true because some of these cameras don't do it, as well as some other goodies. And as always, we're going to see if it does a true 1080p resolution because a lot of these cameras don't do it. So without further ado, let's get this thing unboxed. Okay, so now that we've got this unboxed, what do we have here? We have the standard mini USB to USB for computer connection. Looks like we got here a little strap that you could put onto the camera so it could be portable on you at all times. I guess if you wanted to use this as a standard camera. We actually have a removable battery. This is first. I've never seen one of these dash cam cameras come with a removable / replaceable battery, which is actually good because after a while these things will tend to go. Here we have standard composite cables so you could hook it up to a television and actually see what you've recorded. Next up we got a AC adapter for the USB power there. Never had an adapter like this come in with our car dash cams. That's pretty neat. Next up, a series of brackets, and I'm sure that you hook up to the back of the camera here. Oh, okay, this is probably a little belt clip. That's interesting. And this one here is what you would hook into the suction cup that comes with this guy here. Actually, a pretty large suction cup too. And lastly, an HDMI cable, which is kind of surprising this camera came with it. I have to say, I'm kind of surprised that we got this, the AC adapter, a belt clip, AV cables, a replaceable battery, HDMI cable, all for under $30. And of course it comes with the standard cigarette light adapter to USB for power when you're running it into the car. So pretty good. So far I'm liking what I'm seeing here. It supposedly does H.264 video compression as well. Next up we'll have a look and see what the camera's menus are all about. Okay, so before we get into it, it looks like this camera is tiltable, not by much. Again, you saw by the time lapse here, the battery, the interchangeable battery goes in there. On this side here, we have the power button, looks like a play button, mode, and menu. And on the other side here, looks like some sort of selector and a joystick that goes in all 4 directions. Okay. And what was interesting too, that this particular camera is the first one that actually takes a full-sized SD card. So that was kind of a little bit of a surprise there. So let's turn this thing on, see what we got. Okay, so for whatever reason, when I had the USB power plugged in, it did not want to go to the menu. Now right off the bat, looks like we are in the Russian language. So I'm going to use the little joystick down here and I'm going to see if I could get up. So how I got it to English, basically, we'll start all over. When I hit the menu button here, I went up, went right, and then it's the first one here, language, English. So this pretty much looks very familiar to the other H.264 camera that we did previously, I want to say a couple weeks ago. So we'll do a comparison of that. So the menus are pretty much straightforward like that one there. So let's begin here. So size is obviously resolution, and I'm hitting the going right on this joystick over here. And as you can see, we have a whole assortment of resolutions that we could pick. I like doing the 720p right there. That's got to be exposure, whether or not you want the microphone on. White balance, contrast is standard, sharpness, effects. What is effects? Vivid, Monochrome. Oh, okay, so you could do video effects on this as well. Auto stop, no. Not sure what it is. I was a bit excited when I saw this owner's manual because I thought it was actually going to be a legitimate one that goes through all of the setups for it, and sure enough, it's just like any other one. Very little details, doesn't go over any of the functionality of the camera other than inserting the card and just how to hit record, and that's it. Auto stop, no. Recycle, yes. Oh, okay. Recycle. So how many minute clips, I guess, is what it's looking for. So you could say no, 15, the duration of how many minutes you want it to be recording. So I guess we'll do 45 since we got a 32 gig SD card in there. Flip video, no. Nighttime mode is off, motion detection's off, and standby, okay. So now that we got that done, let's go up. And obviously language, the volume, setting the date, TV out, NTSC, that's what the US uses. Do you want to format the card? Actually, yes, let's do that. And now to select it, I pressed in on the joystick there. Oh wow, it actually got us out of the menu. System reset, no. Oh, okay. That's if you want your own text on there. Auto off in 3 minutes. 60 Hertz. LCD on. And then the version number there. So from 2012. Okay, and that's pretty much it for all the menu options. As always, we're going to take it out in the field and have a go at what this camera could actually do. We'll be back. Okay, so here we are with a 720p daytime shot. As you can see, the video is nice and crisp, no complaints there. And again, we've got another contender for best audio in a camera. The last night vision H.264 camera I thought was the best one, but nope. This one here takes the cake. You could actually hear everyone inside the car with very minimal volume. I was kind of surprised that I heard my daughter in the back seat while recording with this camera. It presented no issues at all when it came to hearing what the microphone was picking up in the interior of the car. File sizes are nice and small too because of the H.264 compression, and I like this one. The only thing I wish it had was a little GPS sensor to tell me what my speed was, but so far so good. And lastly, here is our 720p nighttime shot. As you can see, the video quality is pretty good as long as they're street lamps, so you can definitely see what's going on. When it's pitch black, you kind of have a difficulty of seeing what's going on. The headlights do help. I found that it took about a good 3 to 5 minutes before the camera figured it out on its own that it was nighttime mode, and you could actually see what the headlights were shining on, because prior to that you barely were able to see what was going on. So let's go over the good things about this particular camera that I really liked. Right off the bat, this one here definitely has a true 1080p capture capability. The other thing that I liked about it too was the H.264 video compression. This allows for way smaller file sizes, so this way you're not consuming up your entire SD card in a matter of an hour or two. As I stated before, the other thing I love about this camera too is it has a user replaceable battery, which is located right inside of here, which could come in extremely handy. What didn't I like about this camera? Well, for starters, this awkward suction cup mount. Depending on your particular car and the angle of your windshield, you may or may not see this in your shot when you're recording video. So it could be a little bit annoying. It doesn't consume a lot of the screen when it's recording, but as you saw in one of my samples there, you could actually see the front of this suction cup while you're trying to record your videos. And the other annoyance about this camera too is when you're trying to access the menus here, you have to make sure that there's no power source connected to it, or else you won't be able to get through any of the system-wide menus. Okay, so how about it? Do we buy this or do we toss this? Well, for 30 bucks, and when you get a HDMI cable, a belt clip, which I've never seen before come in with one of these particular cameras, composite cable, and an AC adapter. On top of that, true 1080p capture resolution, H.264 compression I'm going to say absolutely buy this camera. Without a doubt, the value that you're getting this over those cheaper cameras that I got over there at the workbench that are only run $20 and this one's only 10 more, this is an absolute deal. You should definitely get this camera. So that pretty much wraps everything up. If you like what you see here, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen there. Click on the subscribe button. Heck, even leave a comment. It'll be greatly appreciated. This is Dan from Southall Computing, and as always, until the next time.